Well, hello everyone. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Paul Ginsborg. For many years I taught modern politics at the University of Cambridge, and then I went to Italy and took up a chair in contemporary European history at the Università degli Studi di Firenze, Florence, Italy, and I've been there ever since. I'd like to propose a course of lectures which has as its title Family Politics, and has as its subtitle Domestic Life, Revolution and Dictatorship between 1900 and 1950. And the focus of this course is very much on the family. What I'm trying to do is look through the lens of family life on the great moments, terrible moments of European, not only European history, in the first half of the 20th century. I don't think anybody has put the family centre stage in a general history of what happened in those 50 years. And that's what I'd like to try and do in this course with you, working in various media and trying to see what that history looks like viewed in a different direction. I'd like to do so also through the comparative study of 5 countries. And those countries are, first of all, Russia and the Soviet Union from 1917 through to the 1930s, Turkey with the transition from the Ottoman Empire to the Turkish Republic and the central figure of Mustafa Kemal, who later calls himself Ataturk, and then Italy from liberalism to fascism, and the Spanish Civil War. And finally, the 5th country is Germany and the experience of Nazi family politics. And in order to look at this comparison between 5 different countries, and we can always, if there's room, add one more, I've tried to look at different parts, different methodologies to bring to bear upon this comparative project. And the first is biography. What I've tried to do is look at certain key figures in each of these countries and follow through their family life and how they develop and what happens to them and their families during these convulsive and violent decades. So it's very much a story, a biographical story of certain key figures, like Joseph Goebbels, like Alexandra Kollontai, and like the futurist Filippo Tommaso Marinetti, and so on. So biography is the first. Law is the second, to look at the family codes and compare them, and the Bolsheviks have a very extraordinary family code of 1918, which is worth our detailed attention, or take something like the Spanish Republic of 1931 and its constitution. Looking at social engineering, what regimes, these great juggernaut regimes, do to families, and how families in quiet, passive ways resist, whisper their opposition, or sometimes very bravely come out into the open. And then I want to look at the structures of families, countryside, some large families, complex structures, cities like Berlin or Rome, much more reduced numbers in the family, urban, rural, divides and contrasts. That's a fascinating subject. And lastly, I'd like to look at paintings, because I think the depiction of the family is very revealing. And one of the most interesting figures is Mario Sironi, a great fascist painter, but who gives an anguished version of the family. So the idea, through all these different methodologies, is to build up a picture of family life, of family resistances, family passivity, in this great cauldron of revolution and dictatorship in the first half of the century. I'll show you 1 or 2 photographs because I think it may give you the flavour of the course. And here's Alexandra Kollontai, who is the only female commissar in Lenin's first government, and who theorised the abolition of the family, or certainly the superseding of the family. Theoretically, she was the bravest of all the people we're going to take into consideration. Then also we could have a look at Mustafa Kemal, who is an extraordinary figure, very little known in Europe and worthy of much greater attention. Here he is with a magnificent top hat, and you can see he has the eyes and face of a dictator. And he too is a great revolutionary, because he decides that the power of the traditional Muslim family must be broken. And so he takes the Swiss civil code, and applies it to his new republic. And that's an extraordinary thing to do vis-à-vis the family, and vis-à-vis women as well, it has to say. Here's Marinetti, the incredible futurist Marinetti, who once said that the family was a Bedouin tent full of chicken shit, and then he gets married into the most conventional marriage that there is. He falls desperately in love and is as romantic as the rest of us, and also a good family man. And here's Joseph Goebbels on the day of his marriage, and you might be able to discern a certain top-hatted gentleman at the back who is the witness to the marriage, Adolf Hitler. And Goebbels is the central figure in the German chapter. And these are some of the personalities and ideas that I'd like to introduce to you if I get the chance.